This MMA rules bout takes place in the land of the giants, the heavyweight division, and will be contested over 3 5-minute rounds. Your referee in charge when the action gets underway, the superb Mr. Ilya Lucic. Fighters to the center, please, for your final instructions.
Gentlemen, you know the rules. Fight clean. Listen to my commands at all times. Keep yourself protected. Touch gloves if you want. Step back.
Scheduled for 3 heavyweight bout. Those are the numbers. Anything there, Chris, that's striking? 28 and 11.
ANDRYSZAK with height, with weight, with favoritism on the odds. I think also interestingly to see that this doesn't go the distance according to the bookies.
Yeah, well, let's just see, because as you say, ANDRYSZAK hot and cold, but just look at the physicality of ANDRYSZAK. I mean, if you were to AI a heavyweight MMA fighter, it would look like ANDRYSZAK. But then you just look at the experience of SOWMA, who he's been up against, just what he's capable of doing, and, well, there could be an upset here tonight. He's very patient, SOWMA, can wait it out, but can go at any point. ANDRYSZAK towering above him, can get the high kick up. Right, left combination, right, left, right. So looking sharp, looking snappy, and actually quite patient for ANDRYSZAK, because he just normally just tears it up straight away. But just look at the build. Oh, and he's on the attack straight away.
And he spoke candidly about height and reach being an important factor in this fight for him. And SOWMA's no mug. He's very experienced, well coached, comes from one of the best gyms in the world, and can fight into longer rounds. You know, he's not one of those guys that's a first round fighter only.
ANDRYSZAK, physicality just so imposing right from the get-go. Just a little bit tentative here, and seems to be a bit mechanical in the way he's moving forward, ANDRYSZAK, and Saeed SOWMA just trying to work things out, but SOWMA just not perturbed by anything, is he, at this stage? Completely comfortable, even though ANDRYSZAK, I mean, if you were to see that man at the opposite side of the cage, you'd have to take a big intake of breath, wouldn't you? But so far, ANDRYSZAK pushing the pace here, pressing, but nothing meaningful, and SOWMA working it all out, reading it well. He's got a lovely little inside kick, SOWMA, which he brings up to the midsection. It sort of comes from nowhere, and it's one of those meaningful, great defensive hands from SOWMA. Throws up the elbows, makes some beautiful shapes, makes the angle so difficult for ANDRYSZAK to find the hands to get through. ANDRYSZAK, with that long reach, gets a right hand through, but well, you can see SOWMA, very smart, very experienced, but he's starting to glow a little bit red around the midsection, and that's from the hands and both the kicks of ANDRYSZAK, who goes downstairs then up.
Very smart from ANDRYSZAK. Again, he's just not overstepping. He's finding the end of his punches. He's turning them over. It's not all landing. SOWMA has a nice compact style. Like you said, Will, there's just not many obvious defensive lapses or avenues of attack. Struggles with the clinch control sometimes, but really there's no real gaping holes in his game.
ANDRYSZAK useful as well on the defensive. And he's doing a very, very patient job, ANDRYSZAK, given that this is a man that flies out the traps. And he's just getting the measure of SOWMA. SOWMA very patient, and it's the hands of SOWMA. He just manages to deflect and cover up, just making life so difficult for his opponent. And you can see this is a very US American boxing style. And there he goes for the shoot, tries to level things up by level changing, but he doesn't quite pull it off. ANDRYSZAK doesn't want to go to the ground with this guy, quite clearly, and ANDRYSZAK really doing a great job of slowly staging his attacks, following through, and then taking off the pressure and assessing before he oversteps, as you rightly said, Chris, and just goes one punch, one step too far, and then walks onto a short kick or a short little check hook that puts him out of the game.
ANDRYSZAK is being very smart here. He's just got to have to wait a little bit to see where he can find the more fruitful paths, if you will, in this fight, because SOWMA is not really giving him a lot of options. Salma's in his face. He's parrying well, though. Like you said, his elbows are good and tight. His head's moving before and after combinations. It's a lot easier to find head space against a more lumpened heavyweight fighter, and that ANDRYSZAK is struggling with at this juncture. ANDRYSZAK again, I like the body shots. Needs to make sure he doesn't allow himself to get countered by dropping his hands too much. He needs to really kind of squat. Good coverage there on the exit. Salma's a patient fighter, sometimes too patient.
Yeah, I think he needs to ride this early round out because he's up against such overwhelming physical disadvantage. I mean, you know, I think he's doing such a good job actually of stemming what is a tidal wave of physicality that ANDRYSZAK has at his disposal. But he's got to 2, and if he's going to finish, he's going to need something very special for ANDRYSZAK. But if it goes the distance and he can cause problems, well, he might just burgle the win here. But ANDRYSZAK, so far, so good. Because we've seen ANDRYSZAK actually come a cropper a few times, overstepping everything.
And get exhausted, too. Within sometimes even 30 seconds, 45 seconds, he's done. So, again, to see him sit down there in the interim, breathing comfortably, it was a measured fight. It was an even pace.
And what we saw there in the replay was some wonderful deflective hands. I mean, it was a bit like Wing Chun Kung Fu, the way he was deflecting those shots. Old style, you know, my style's better than your style stuff. So we go to 2, but definitely very comfortable, SOWMA, and definitely got the skills. He's got the measure of this now. What's he going to do? That's what he's going to do. Starting to open up now and starting to trade. And, oh, ANDRYSZAK nearly got caught with a sloppy one there.
I think that's what they wanted to do, was kind of get 5 minutes of data, see what ANDRYSZAK was comfortable doing, let him throw a few cards on the table, and then look for something to punish that behavior. The question is what? I think it might be a body shot to an overhand right. Sometimes ANDRYSZAK's guard is quite high, or his hands are quite low when he goes to the body like that. And that may be what SOWMA believes he can hit against a taller fighter, the overhand right.
I mean, he's swatting those shots away like they were flies with that open hand technique. But he's taking too many shots to the body, and at some stage that's going to take its toll. SOWMA, just all right, he's got the data, but I don't know what he's going to do with it because ANDRYSZAK has upped his game as well. And he just does enough and then leaves the scene of the crime and then just opens up the danger with that potential of the high kick. He's got a lovely crescent kick. ANDRYSZAK at his disposal. It's not a Miwashigeri, it's not a big looping swinging kick. He brings up the knee and flicks it out. He's got the range and he's got the power to do it. I mean, just look at the musculature on the calves. I mean, that's some beef going on there above the ankle. So you look at the build, you look at the power, but then you look at SOWMA, and SOWMA, well, unperturbed by it all.
And you wonder if the strategy from SOWMA, which is just kind of this sparring mode that he's in at the moment, is going to be a problem after 3 rounds, because the natural physical advantages go for ANDRYSZAK. And with the reach, the height, you know, the extension of his punches, the fine in the end of his reach, it just could be a little bit of a bridge too far for SOWMA after 15 minutes.
Oof. And he's looking now to sink in some hench behind the shots, but not linger. He's not staying there to really finish it off. One shot, maybe a double strike, but certainly no combinations up against the wire in that slugfest territory. He's just not dealing with that at all. I think this is a good performance from ANDRYSZAK so far. Joined up, smart, and that's what you need here. So just taking it now into the deeper waters. We're halfway through the second round, and just looking at some of the opponents that ANDRYSZAK has put away. I mean, Martin Batur, Marcin Cianos, Durley Bruinstrup took a loss against Ivan Vitasevic. It was a TKO, and Vitasevic just unleashed an absolute barrage. But you're right, now looking at ANDRYSZAK, this is where he slows down. But the whole pace of this has started to take on a different tone. You go back in the career of ANDRYSZAK, and it starts with a heavy loss to Darko Stosic, Mihai Kita, Luis Enrique and Phil de Vries. TKOs there, submissions, TKOs, some heavy losses. Up until that, it was all gravy. But, you know, ANDRYSZAK has had his fair mix of results here. We're into the last minute and a half of this second round, and still no one is committing, are they, Chris?
Not at all, and I think it's like the most unheavyweight thing about this fight is usually the pendulum is swinging very, very wide and very far, and often frequently from one corner to the other, or sometimes very, very, very immediately in favor of one corner and definitively. It's just not happening here. It's very much a you go, I go type affair.
SOWMA comes off the back of 2 wins. Nick Gay, Shelton Graves. Oh, ANDRYSZAK goes for the shoot. But then before that, 3 losses. Tim Johnson, Gokhan Sarakam, and Davion Franklin, all at Bellator. And then before that, he was on a winning streak. I think the most notable run he's had, Quinton Henry, Jimmy Lawson, Marino Eatman, Jermaine Barnes, Dustin Clements, Bobby Brantz. 6 on the trot before a loss against Tyrol Fortune. But a mixed bag there, as is indeed the story for ANDRYSZAK. But ANDRYSZAK ground to a halt now, and seemingly, you know, the Duracell is starting to wind down. He's standing in front and doing that tippy-toe, unthoughtful, uncreative stand, defend and slug. Just opportunities lost and opportunities wasted.
He's definitely kept his cardio up, though, and that's, again, an important thing. If you think about these guys, how big they are, it is a different energy level and expenditure, and that's certainly something that ANDRYSZAK has adapted. We've seen him definitely fight a little bit more measured in recent years, but this may be a little bit too measured, especially when you're on a card where there's a marquee fight, a championship fight at the top of the card. You want to catch the attention, not only of the matchmaking team, but of the fans in attendance, and throw something spectacular out there. And we haven't quite seen that yet from either camp.
Well, this is another fight that we didn't think would go into the deep waters. We've gone to 3 now of this matchup, which I have to say seems incredible. The matchup with Filip Pejec and Alexander Yankovic I thought was going to be done in 1. Here we are having tea at 3. We've got SOWMA from the US, comes to Europe. Saeed SOWMA, ex-Bellator, he's got the experience, got the same amount on paper in terms of the mix and match of wins and losses. He takes on Mihai ANDRYSZAK. 3rd and final round here. If we were to hazard a guess at the scoring, Chris.
ANDRYSZAK, 2018. Too comfortably, too.
Oh! There it is! Look at that left hand. How did SOWMA land that?
What on earth happened there? Incredible connection there from SOWMA, and his corner would have said something different than the last 10 minutes. You just saw it.
Well, unanimous in our surprise. SOWMA, how he landed that, I don't know. But ANDRYSZAK was doing that tippy-toe, stationary thing where he thinks he's moving, but he's not. He's actually in the same spot. And SOWMA tagged him, and that's not a good sign. And ANDRYSZAK now tired, hurt, and needs to just do more than do the foot swapping exercise here. And he needs to cover up, keep the guard up, and start landing shots. I think SOWMA could finish this.
It can't be too much respect. That's the thing. Especially at this point, you've come into FNC, you said, I want to be here, I want to make an impression. You've got 3 minutes and 50 seconds to do it.
Yeah, it's a long way to come for a short fight and a loss, but he's making this a long fight, possibly a win. And ANDRYSZAK looking a spent force. I think the offensive has gone from ANDRYSZAK here, and SOWMA just waiting for a chance to pick his shot. And the creativity has gone from ANDRYSZAK. He's just standing there throwing, and, you know, that's the avenue that he doesn't want to be down. That is not an avenue. It's a cul-de-sac, and he's down! It's a knockdown! SOWMA has done it! ANDRYSZAK on the deck. It's a TKO. It's all over. He gassed out. Saeed SOWMA takes the win. It was like taking candy from a baby, I have to say. There was nothing left for ANDRYSZAK. He left it all too late. SOWMA finishes the job full fat style. It's a knockdown!
What a comeback there from Saeed SOWMA. Down for the count, down on the rounds, and goes out and takes it big style here tonight. 7th career knockout, and this is how it happened, Will. Kick catch there from ANDRYSZAK. Look at him charge. Kabang! In comes the left.
Oh, and from then on, it was just all over. In desperation, ANDRYSZAK, each shot after shot. I mean, it was an onslaught. They were so precise, they were so heavy. And I just love the way SOWMA controls it all, holds the hands, brings in the elbows. There's a lot to this guy that we don't know about. It wouldn't surprise me if he fought Kung Fu as a kid, because that's what I'm seeing there. I'm seeing trapping hands, Wing Chun, sticking hands. I mean, great performance there. Well, he's come big on Saturday night, and you know what they say, come big or stay home. Well, he's certainly not at home, but he is here in front of a crowd in Zagreb. I mean, ANDRYSZAK had it all going on, and I just don't know at what point it just slipped away.
Exactly that. It was the smoothest, cruisiest ANDRYSZAK performance. And Saeed SOWMA said, listen, I've got minutes left. And he deployed the big win.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, the end comes after 1 minute and 41 seconds completed of round number 3. Your winner by way of TKO in the blue corner, Saeed SOWMA!